From the National Newsroom of the Canadian Press, I'm Rob Westgate. Israel and the U.S. have launched a joint operation against Iran. Reporter Karen Travis has the latest from U.S. President Donald Trump.
President Trump, in a video posted on social media, confirms the U.S. military is carrying out what he calls, quote, major combat operations in Iran.
Our objective is to defend the American people by eliminating imminent threats from the Iranian regime.
The White House had said for weeks that diplomacy was the first option, but the president continued to threaten military action without specifically explaining why he would do that. Today, he calls Iran the, quote, world's #1 state sponsor of terror and says the country can never have a nuclear weapon. Karen Travers, ABC News, Washington.
Canadians in the Middle East are being warned to stay vigilant during these tense times. On Friday, Foreign Affairs Minister Anita Anand said Canadians in Iran should leave the country if they can do so safely. She followed that up by suggesting that anyone in Israel, Palestine, and Lebanon should also consider leaving the region while commercial options remain available. So far, there has been no official reaction to the latest developments from the federal government. Prime Minister Mark Carney is in India on his latest trip to repair relations with one of the fastest-growing economies in the world. Now, the trip is not without controversy, as the federal government has said in 2023 that Canada had evidence linking the Indian government and its agents to the murder of a Canadian Sikh activist. And then again in 2024, when the RCMP said there was evidence of a wider campaign of intimidation and violence. Ahead of Carney's trip, a federal official said the PM would not be making it if they still believed that agents of the Indian government were involved in extortion or threats of violence here in Canada. Police say protests are on the rise in Canada, driven by what they call an increasingly polarized global environment.
One of the latest examples is an Iran solidarity protest in Toronto on February 14th. Toronto police estimated 350,000 people took over the streets in what was likely the largest single-day demonstration the city's ever seen. In Vancouver, police report a 75% increase in protest activity in January from a year earlier. The Canadian Association of Police Chiefs said back in 2024, increased protest activity across the country had led to an unsustainable demand on police resources. Jason White, The Canadian Press.
And finally, fans around the globe will be breaking out their old LPs this weekend to remember singer-songwriter Neil Sedaka. Sedaka, whose hits include Breaking Up Is Hard to Do and Laughter in the Rain, died Friday at the age of 86. His catalog sold millions worldwide and had been covered by a range of performers from Elvis Presley and Frank Sinatra to The Fifth Dimension and Nickelback. Other than his family noting his passing as sudden, details of his death were not being shared. This is the Canadian Press. In sports, it was a winning start to the Canadian Men's Curling Championship for Newfoundland and Labrador's Brad Gushue. The six-time champion, playing in his final Brier, defeated Quebec's Jean-Michel Menard 10-2 in St. John's, Newfoundland. Olympic champion Brad Jacobs also earned an 8-3 victory over PEI's Tyler Smith. Over to the NHL now, where Chris Kreider's goal at 4 minutes and 47 seconds of overtime lifted the Anaheim Ducks up and past the Winnipeg Jets 5-4 the final. That was Anaheim's fourth straight win. Elsewhere, Buffalo defeated Florida 3-2, Washington got past Vegas 3-2 as well, and Utah dispatched Minnesota 5-2. And finally, Alexander Usyk is scheduled to defend his WBC heavyweight title May 23rd against kickboxer Rico Verhoeven in Egypt. Usyk hasn't fought since a fifth-round knockout of British boxer Daniel Dubois at Wembley Stadium last July. Verhoeven has not competed as a boxer since 2014. From the Canadian Press, I'm Rob Westgate.
Thanks for listening. Don't forget to follow and subscribe. For more of today's top stories, visit thecanadianpressnews.ca.